welcome back. I'm Melissa Muir. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the bracelet forming tools that Kevin Potter has come out from Potter USA. And right now he has just recently come out with 3 bracelet blanks. So these are the pancake dies to create the 3 different sizes of the bracelet blanks. They are, this one happens to be a little bit more than an inch, and we've got about 1.5 inches, not quite, and then one that's about 2 inches wide. All of them are just shy of 6 inches, so it's made for like a medium wrist, pretty decent size as far as uniformity goes for most people. Just to show you briefly some of the things that you can do with it, these are 3 bracelets that I have created with the bracelet blanks, used in conjunction. In this case, they were all done with the Anticlastic Forming tools, meant for the hydraulic press. So I'm going to show you really quickly a couple of things to consider when you are working with the hydraulic press and creating your bracelet blanks. Kevin Potter currently has 2 different hydraulic presses out that he is offering. He's got a larger press and then a smaller press. I'm going to show you how to use both of them with the bracelet blanks and some different considerations that you would need to use depending on which press you have. So here I am going to show you how to do this on my larger press that has the larger opening. This makes it a little easier for me because I can position things a little differently than I can with the small press. Today I'm going to show you, I'm just going to pop out one of the bracelets. This happens to be the medium bracelet, which is about 1.5 inches wide, and again just about like 5 and almost not quite 6 inches long, so it's not that bad. You can see that there's kind of an opening right in there, and what I do is I'll just take my metal, and you can see I've already punched out one side of a bracelet, or one bracelet on the one side. I'm just going to take this and I want to line it up so that I make certain that I'm going to cut out the entire bracelet blank. You can see that it's going to fit fairly close to the edge, and I don't want it to be too close because sometimes that can cause a big burr. So you just kind of position it, take the time. I'm going to place this in here. Actually, before I do this, I want to point out a couple of things. Here I'm using a couple of Bonnie Doon spacers that are 6 inches wide and a little bit more than 1 inch deep. I also have some steel bars that I got from Potter USA to help distribute evenly the pressure that's going to come down from the press onto this bracelet blank. Because it is a little bit longer, you want to make certain that you have something that's going to kind of help sandwich everything nice and flat all at once. So I'll take the next bar, place it on top of this sandwich blank. I'm doing my best to get everything centered here. So everything looks good there. And now I will go ahead and pop this out. I'm working with 18 gauge copper, which is fairly thick. This is going to make a very loud popping sound as it cuts through and punches out this bracelet blank. Okay, so now we're here at where everything is sandwiched together. Like I said, sometimes sounds kind of like a big old shotgun going off, and there's the rest of it going through. Sometimes it takes a couple of passes, so I found that particularly if I don't have these steel bars, I will get one side punched through, take it, flip it around, do it again, and then I will get the second side punched through. So don't be worried about, happening to do it in multiple stages. So the next thing I'm going to do, pull off that outer or the remainder of the metal. Take my thumbs, I'm just going to pop out the bracelet blank. So now I have this. I'll just take either a jeweler's saw or my hand shears, trim this off, and then file off all the edges and any burrs that might be there, and go from there. When I'm working with this smaller press, my opening is only just a little more than 5 inches wide, or right at 5 inches. So that gives me a couple of different things that I need to kind of think forward about for a little bit. One thing would be that if I've got my bracelet die and I insert my metal like I did with the larger press, one of the things that I have to think about is being able to fit everything in here. So let me see if I can get this rearranged here just a little bit more so you can see this a little better. But you can see that with this metal sticking out here at the top, it makes it so that it's too wide to fit into this. So I'll need to kind of consider that and cut down strips that are going to make it a little easier for me to fit into this. The other consideration that I need, definitely I need to have these bars or some other type of a spacer, again, that I can help make sure that that pressure is all the way supported throughout the entire length of that bracelet. So this is definitely something I would consider purchasing if you are going to be doing some of these dies that have the bracelet forming blanks on them. So let me cut this metal down and then I'll go through this process with you again. Alright, so here what I've done is I've just gone ahead and cut a thinner strip. I cut it down lengthwise as well so that it fits, but you can see that I can see all the way around this particular blank. So what I'm going to do now is place this into the jack. I'm going to place the top bar onto it as well. And again, this is to help us so that we have enough pressure all the way through. Because you'll see that even the die here hangs over the edge of this platen. A little bit less working space, but it'll still work fine. And once again, it'll be pretty loud. This one's a little bit tougher, so I'm going to go ahead and put on the extension handle. I'm not all the way through. There we go. And so now we're all the way through. So with the little press, because you do have a little bit less leverage on this, you may need to put that leverage handle on the extender that comes with the jack. You'll just have to play with it. It does take a little bit more effort to get through this, but again, that's just because the jack is a little bit, or the overall frame is a little bit smaller, so it distributes the press or the pressure a little bit differently. So again, go through, pop this out just as we did before. Alright, so I've popped this out. One thing I want to show you, this is where the end of the metal was cut. But then I was also left with this larger flange. Now this was because I had my metal cut so closely to the size of the bracelet blank itself. And when that happens, sometimes it will leave more of a flange. Rather than cutting the metal, it will actually just kind of push it through. So this one's actually not too bad. I would just need to take my cutting shears, my bent shears here, trim that off, and then again clean this up and file it down. Okay, I've gone through and I have done all my texturing and my surface treatment that I want on this. I have annealed my piece and I have not yet pickled it, so it's a little bit dirty and miscolored right now, and that's okay because I will take care of that, put it in the pickle after I get this formed. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do an anticlastic forming on this using the Anticlastic Formers from Potter USA. So what I need to do first is I need to install my bracelet former frame. Just insert this into the hole that's up here at the top of the press. Tighten up the screw to hold it all into place. I'm going to place my bracelet former, the Anticlastic. In this case, this is the large one. This is a two-part system, so we've got the large and the small, and I will take care of the small in just a moment. Place my urethane under here, and I'm going to begin to form my bracelet. In this case, I want my texture on the outside, so the texture side goes down. Go ahead and begin to raise my press. Alright, and get this all into position so that it's nice and straight. And you'll notice that the urethane is going to kind of spread out, and that's fine, that's normal. And you can also kind of help this along by forming it up into the bracelet former. Release some of the pressure just enough so that I can take and move the bracelet. Okay, again, I'm just going to kind of push that up into there. Once more, release the pressure on this. Readjust. This one I'm going to have to push down a little bit. There we go. Adjust my bracelet one more time. I'm going to continue to do this until I've gone all the way around on this first bracelet blank and die here. And what I'm going to do is just do the sides here. I don't want to go through the entire bracelet former with this. Another thing I want to do is just kind of make certain that everything is kind of straight, and you can adjust that by your hands very, very easily. So we'll just come in, and what I'm doing by doing this is just tightening up those side curves so that it comes around more into an oval shape rather than an ellipse, and that will fit to your wrist a little bit better and a little easier. So just slide it in. I do about 3 passes on this, and they overlap just slightly. Just to give you an idea of what this looks like. You can see how that's now tightened up that curve quite a bit. And so that's what I want for that side. Now I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. Go ahead and release our bracelet. And for this one, I typically will have to kind of remove the urethane and the die to pull my bracelet off. You can see now we've got a much better formed cuff shape. So now what's left for me to do is to pickle this, give the patina, polish it up. It's actually very, very hard because of all of the forming that we've been doing. However, there are some manipulations that you can do if you need to. Like if I needed to kind of close this down a little bit more here, just take it and I would just pinch it with my fingers. I can widen it, stretch it, squeeze it together. Just depends on what you need to do. Alright, so now the bracelet is finished. It's all oxidized. Everything is good to go. Like I said, you're going to have quite a bit of strength. And I'm giving quite a tug here. So you do have quite a bit of strength as the metal continues to work harden as you are forming this. So there you go. That's how you use the small press, the bracelet formers, and the bracelet dies.